Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all made the grind through these 7 days or 5 days, we'll say. And here we are at the weekend. We love ourselves the weekend, and we should. There is there's a verse in the Bible, and I know we're heading towards Sunday, so we're gonna, guys. Let me say it this way, because again, I've been going over a lot of verses, right? We've been going over a lot of Bible verses while we've been talking about life here, and again, while early part of the podcast, if you will, of course, we're coming up on 1 year. Shout out to the 1 year. We got the computer open. Right, my little protector that y'all have heard from time to time on episodes. I got my little girl Fiona here with me. Voice is feeling good. My body is feeling good. Y'all pray for your boy. Keep me in your thoughts, your thoughts and your heart and your prayers. Your boy got to stay away from fans, y'all. See, everybody got a thing they deal with, words that people have put into the dictionary and that we speak, things like vices, all that kind of thing. I'm not gonna call it vice, but stuff we do that really isn't too good for us. And when you sleep under the fan, you got all the dust and the nastiness going on. Again, that's the culture I grew up around. Some of y'all might not have, so you might not even know really what I'm getting at. However, don't have the fan, do that oscillating thing, kind of have it pointed towards your toes, or maybe, in your general vicinity. That is, unless you're blazing hot at the moment, you need to cool down real quick, because you're breathing that stuff in when you sleep and all that type of stuff. It's no good. No good. I think it's necessary, especially for podcasters, it's necessary to just be open, because people are listening to you the whole time, right? And we're giving information, we're doing these things and stuff like that, but and maybe some podcasts it's easier because, you might be teaching about crocheting and doing video casts where you're showing stuff. But especially these ones where there's no visual, there's just audio. It's up to those in the mind who are good at creating images and pictures in their mind for a thing. So, we can get into a video here. As we go along today, y'all strap in, because the road's gonna be fun today. We're gonna get into Genesis chapter 2, and it's just necessary to bring this to light, y'all, because again, right, this was while one, it is Black History Month, I think two, that coincides with the St. Valentine's Day phenomena that is February 14th, which again, two movies came out. I am not going to get into the Madam Web thing, because I think a lot of people, go see it for yourself. Go see it for yourself. I'm not going to be one here to say that movie was such a dumpster fire that you shouldn't go see it for yourself. I am a big person on go see it for yourself. I know that money has gotten crazy. Y'all look for them theaters where it's cheap. Where I live, I got a couple theaters near me where you can go for about $7 or so, which is cool, because again, they got this thing now where it's up to $20. And when you're not getting paid money to go to the movies for $20 on a Friday or Saturday, or even some families will hit it up on the Sunday. See, again, we live in a society now where we have allowed greed to push things to a brink, and to a dividing point here. So some things we've forgotten over time that have gone by the wayside. One of them being going to the movies, times of rest, and that was the other thing I was going to look up. Is this verse in Scripture that talks about, oh man, what a powerful verse. See, remember we did that thing about time, guys? There's a time under heaven for everything. You remember me talking about that, right? Here be's another one. Let's see if we can pull this up a little differently here. Acts chapter 3. See, I told y'all when it comes to the Bible thing, we're not doing the same thing that y'all hear. And this is not to create a division, God bless my other Christian brothers and sisters here, but I can no longer now knowing what has been put down here for us to enjoy, to just sit there and join the same rhetoric about everything that is wrong. It just because everything ain't wrong, okay? And we're gonna get into it with Acts chapter 2 here, because again, we got to go back to the beginning to understand where we're at today. A lot of people don't understand where we're at today, and we're a little confused because people have not truly studied their beginnings. That's what's so sad, seeing as how this is Black History Month. Okay, yeah, 1 month, right? The side note on this, because I get to say it again, this idea that why we got, a lot of people, to break it down to a Christian standpoint, sound like the children of Israel when they came out of slavery in Egypt. Ironic that a lot of these things sometimes parallel themselves in a thought. Why? The road's going to be long, guys, and this is to my Black brothers and sisters about building your own stuff here. See, again, we're duped in this idea that we must stay under a certain group or class of people in order to make it. Like, we got to stay attached to the hip. This is not for hate. This is not for division. This is an idea and a thought that comes with anybody who's ever been abused. This is for women who have been in abusive relationships with men, or vice versa, because people is people. So again, we understand men have had the top of the class with that. See, again, this is why I do this general and specific speech, and I'm letting y'all know it, because there's two sides to this. It's not all lumped into one thing. They want you to think it's lumped into one thing. Women go through their own set of stuff. Men go through their own set of stuff. Each culture of the planet goes through its own set of stuff as well. So this idea that only Black people have gone through this horrible thing, which is slavery, which is true, when you look at world history, you got to understand that there was other groups of people they were doing this to, y'all. Your Latin brothers and sisters. See, again, when I say brothers and sisters, not only those of the darker skin tones, right, of which we share a certain level of melanin, of some level of camaraderie from that standpoint, right? But also, we are part of the human race. There's no way of getting around that. I understand certain sections of people will say, well, KJ, the white folks is this and they that, and then the Latin folks are this or that, or the Asians are this or that stuff. See, again, guys, we all fall under a certain level of penalty here because we ignore the common denominator base points of life, which is we're all on this planet and in the game together. And when Europe started doing the garbage it did, with the help from some Arabs, with the help from some Asians, with the help from different groups, that does not negate the fact that we're all down here, so we all pay the price. So now you have issues with healthcare being way too much because of this little checkerboard chess game that's being played here with who can have and who can't. And then what you do to hide all that is make it very ambiguous. This is why we brought out the term benign neglect, right? Because I don't see nothing's happening. I don't know what you're talking about. See, that is all part of the game to keep you stuck, where now you have to pay deductibles of, depending on the health plans you have, $3,000, all kinds of weird stuff. And we don't have that money to just be spending $3,000 before your insurance kicks in for certain percentages off on things that are already way too high. See, again, you people, this is why I did what I did in that Halloween episode. Everything is a setup to something else, y'all, that is coming, because that's how life is, right? I know folks think the stuff is disconnected, but it's all a setup to some stuff here of what is to come. Bible talks like that over and over. So again, times of refreshing. That's where we were going with this. So now this is Acts chapter 3. I'm trying to cut down some of, because I can go on and on and on here. So as y'all can tell, we're like 40 plus episodes in. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Spotify for podcasters before I get too started here. Shout out to Spotify for podcasters for putting on this platform where your boy can speak, where other people can speak a truth here. Because again, it's the only way this gets out, man. It's the only way that's the only way you can see when you deal with certain things, especially now. I've mentioned this with war, but we'll just go further into the thought here. When you have certain battles and stuff going on, that's why it's sad when they talk about what is being violent, right? Or what is promoting hate. You have to understand, guys and gals, that what is behind the scenes to mess you up that looks like nothing's going on. That's the only really way of saying it, because that's exactly what's happening in war. When you try to break down somebody, or nation of folks, whatever the phrase, go back and look in history. This is not me saying this off conjecture or conspiracy. It's why I broke down those words in a couple of episodes prior, because it's not this idea, or it might have been last year actually. This idea that everything is so mystical and spooky. They do that on purpose to get you off the path. Because again, if you can't ever put your hand on something, then it couldn't be true, right? This is why I said what I said in that whole Halloween thing. See, again, the spirit realm people, this idea of what you can't see with your two eyes, folks know very little about, and they also don't pay any attention to. Still all these rules of life and of nature and love and everything operating around us every day, every second of the day. It takes men and women. It takes women and men to stand up and be like, "Hey, I'm good. We're not going this route no more. We're just not doing it anymore." And we can stand and do it, And again, to that whole thing I was talking about with black folks, it's time to, guys. If you tired of the way you're being treated by those of different cultures, and primarily one at the top of the class are those of the European culture, it's time for you to get your own businesses, guys. It is a little bit different than it was in the 1800s. No way am I saying you do not have obstacles because they're in your path. We'll stop here before I get into this verse and just get into the slave codes, because again, we in Black History Month, so we're gonna go with it. I can't promise y'all that we won't touch it from time to time, and the reason why is not because of this. Why do we have to have a Black History Month? You have it because you've had a whole group of people around you that y'all been living around and you're friends with, and you know that you might be in your family or family members and all this kind of thing that have been minimized and neutralized for hundreds of years, y'all. This is what this is, especially in the modern era, which by modern, I'm going to say the 1400s till now. That's the way I'm going to break it down. Like, I understand historians and stuff say it differently. That's the way your boy KJ is breaking it down. It's the same thing they do with generations. They pick and choose certain years here to differentiate. I think by the time a person is 20 and 30, they probably have started their own generation. Some people spread it out to 50 years. This is why when you look at your generations and what they're named between, whether it's boomers or Generation X, all that kind of stuff, you have to put a certain level of, what's the phrase, grain of salt. Because again, somebody is dividing up. And whenever with people, I got in this conversation when talking about gas prices. With a beloved teacher of mine from back in the day. I like chopping it up with people, man. This is me. This is what I do. Okay. Sometimes you fight who you are, but this is who I am, right? I told y'all are watching this and y'all listen to this in real time, man. This is it's good because you need something real today. Too much fake mess has been put in the world because of greed. You need something real right in front of your face, y'all. That's what makes the impact. That's what's impactful about Jesus' ministry. Like, real, right in front of your face. Christians won't talk about it like that because, again, they're too stuck on who's giving them money and what 501c3 thing they got and all this stuff. They're okay with that, but see, it's time to start calling out the trash. See, this is what we're talking about. Every one of these things in war, they cut off communications. What you can say, what you can't say. Can't get to certain people to say certain things. Guess what? Easy for you to take them because the message that's coming is saying, hey, it's coming. But again, when you cut off one group of people, y'all, you cut off yourself. You cut off your arm. Don't you hurt your body? We are a whole body of humans, y'all. This ain't even like a biblical thing. Like, this is for real. When you cut out one group of people, what are we doing? What are we doing? Again, when you talk on business and trade and commerce, I might have left off with this last time, but one of these things, you're going to look right on Wikipedia, the list of slave codes, and it was all over states. So when they talk about that federal thing, the state and federal thing, hello, y'all. The state's a part of the federal overall, which is, this word federal, just the overall government of the United States. Again, I leave off the America part because it just so happened this is the land they chose. There wasn't anywhere else to go on the planet. I guess it was too as much fighting they do over Africa. It was too hard to colonize Africa. So even though they've done a good job mucking that up. But again, you couldn't go to Africa. You had issues doing it with India. You had a little bit of success over there in Asia with Japan and stuff like that. That kind of backfired on you. See, again, just use the God-given resources you've been given, y'all. What are we doing? Lord knows they mucked up. See, again, we're talking about how this thing was going all over the world, y'all. They tried to take over. You go back and look at the things that happened over in Brazil, Chile, Argentina, South America. Lord knows that you've heard me talk about it with Mexico and how that's come out. I keep a globe, y'all, on my desk at home. Because again, see, if you want to know the planet you live on, guess what you got to do? Oh man, you got to know the planet you live on, right? Keep it in front of your vision. Because again, the 8-9 hours that you waste away every day, because Lord knows they got it. They got you wasting it away. They got you wasting it away. It's hard to fight to just go to the gym for your own physical health. Anyway, I didn't say it wasn't. See again, because you get too many defenses in the mind. Because folks just don't want to accept the thing. DID is a real thing, y'all. Go watch Moon Knight. Re-watch the TV show Moon Knight. And WandaVision, because again, you see that mental health issue there with this. So it's, I believe the way you say it. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. Let me look it up real quick so I can be correct in what I'm saying. Yeah, DID. They call a mental health condition. Again, you got different words here on these things. Dissociative identity disorder. So now here's your explanation from the Cleveland Clinic, right? Something you can look up right online. Someone with DID has multiple distinct personalities. Let's be honest, you can also have distinct realities, which is where you can sit there and say that black folks are cursed. Especially when you're trying to take from them. All the meanwhile, what the other side of it is that you used and misused your resources here, then made up a whole story, even probably with multiple subplots. Because again, you can have multiple personalities. I know people think this is the same thing happens with biology when people start talking about sex and the physical body and stuff like that. But again, if you want to increase your sex life, you got to know about your body and what feels good. So this is why I put that little E thing on I made it explicit content, y'all, because I know, see, again, not to give me leeway to use what people will call bad language. Which y'all have heard me talk about that on an episode before, but it's just to get to the baseline. And sometimes you got to get to the baseline thought. People got to talk where they're at. And when you talk where they're at, unfortunately, the FCC and some of this has been generated by people who again, pseudo offense. There is a difference between you actually being truly offended by something, okay, and where you make up this "I'm offended" so that you can stop a person. You know what I mean? You use and twist the laws. Okay, twisting, the way I say it on this platform is twisting holy notions. So, a person with multiple distinct personalities, the various identities control a person's behavior at different times. So this is why you can get people hate you one day and then turn around and love you in 15 minutes. They suffer from DID. This is real, y'all. Hey. Let's go backwards here for a second, because again, one of these offenses people use is, are you a professional? Okay, so no, I don't have no PhDs behind my name, none of that kind of stuff. Do I aspire to go to college to continue to learn on sociology and how people interact? You're absolutely right, because that is the world we live in. We live in a world where people interact with each other. So you need to know how people interact with each other. I mean, this is for real, right? Got you distracted on which cats look cute online and all this. And nothing against nature, nothing against admiring creation. But I think if our focus is solely on that and not on the other parts of creation, you have a problem, right? It's out of balance. So let's continue. The various identities control a person's behavior at times. The condition can cause memory loss. And folks sure forgot that memory, man. Not only with hiding history and what has really gone on, and what groups of people ate people and baked them down to oil. Y'all look at what happened to slave revolutionist Nathaniel Turner. I'm being for real. Lord, that brother. God bless that brother, because he stood against tyranny. He stood against misuse of power. Those are your real heroes, guys. You want to know who put on the Superman cape and flew even to their death? Look at your boy Nathaniel Turner. All these people who stood up against wrong, man. Again, if you can do it to one group of people, I don't know how else to say it. If you can do it to one group of people, you can do it to them all. And that's what you see going on, y'all. Can cause memory loss, delusions, or depression. I'm just going to leave that there for a second. On this thought about what you do to one person, you can do to them all. I pulled up a couple of articles here. I was going to go over some stuff like, things with the Yankees being worried about Aaron Judge. Because again, I want to make this sound, I don't want to make it, I don't want people going where the defenses of the mind will normally go, where you don't. So we could have talked about sports if I wanted to. I've done that before, right? We talked about WWE and stuff. Life is real, y'all. Like, life is so very real. Life is so, the distractions are nice, guys, but where you live at every day, don't allow the distractions to get you to a place where you forget the real. And it's nice to pay attention to, and again, to my black brothers and sisters, you tired of news reporters telling you to shut up and play basketball, Mr. LeBron James? Create your own league. Again, we've talked about the Negro leagues and stuff like that. Again, life is set as such. If you set a precedent for something, it can be, if you do something to one group of people, as you've heard me say, it can be done to anybody. If you also succeed in something, that means another group of people can succeed in it, which is why when you go backwards in time, you had the Holocaust in the 1940s. Guess what is documented of how they got that idea from? They got it from slavery in the 1800s, y'all. So before you get mad at the Germans, understand that this thought process was baked in years before, which is, you've heard me say this on this platform before. When you see something come out in art, when you TV and movies per se, right? When you see these things come out, it's already been played enough to the point folks know they can use it, whether for money or actual harm to humans in the case of the Holocaust. So when those of the European diaspora, because see, again, this anti-Semitic thing has gone a little too far. It's the same thing that happens when black folks cry racism when no racism is going on. And we're talking about from a biblical standpoint. See, not Europe. Israel went too far and paid a price. That's biblical. Okay. That's not anti-Semitic to say this is what happens when you go too far. And guess what, y'all? That warning is not just for Jewish folks. Or let me say it this way, the European diaspora of Jewish folks. Again, that's something you can look up online. This is why when folks talk about black Jews, don't sit there and poo-poo that. You are already shown there's one level of diaspora from Europe as far as Jewish people are concerned. What is that to say about the rest of the... Never mind. Folks, see, I've come to the conclusion that a lot of people just okay being okay. I am not. I don't want to live and die in this planet and not know what in the world is going on around me. So yeah, we could have talked about Bernie Williams talking about Aaron Judge should not play center field for the Yankees this year. And again, I am a Yankee fan, so we will go there possibly from time to time, depending on what wacky stuff happens this year. Understand, you got a big old boy like that, Aaron Judge, man. You moving around in center field, and he's worried about being hurt. So the other thing, what are they going to say? Oh, well, he's a center fielder, so he's going to be moving around more. And never mind. I guess maybe I'm not an athlete, as they say. So I don't have nothing to say. We could talk about how another news article here that I found just as about 9 hours ago on Daily Mail, where CBS fires female news journalist for investigating into Mr. Joe Biden's family and seizing her personal notes and stuff like that. And we could have a little conversation about how people keep doing this hypocritical impropriety where it comes to how they judge. We can get into that conversation. And again, we could also back it up by the whole idea. There's another article here where people are starting to go after pro-life activists. That is something else about 4 hours ago. There's something on Fox News. Again, I look to Fox News, guys. We ain't just because conservatives are up. We don't know. I already told y'all those words are made up. They're made up words. So again, we want to look at how everybody looks at life. We don't, because again, what you don't look at is where you miss, and then you miss. Now you don't have a full view. You got to get the different view. Guess what you got to do? You got to go look at the different view. So of course, some folks got arrested in 2021 for peacefully protesting, y'all, down in Tennessee at an abortion clinic. This is before the Supreme Court came out with their deal, right? So folks coming after El Presidente. Again, never mind. Man. Again, the power for freedom is in y'all, man. The system is set up for y'all. So we need to start using it and getting involved in it better. When voting time come around, don't care about these people. Care about the rules they got going on. What is it? How does it benefit you? What more money in your pocket to see? When we talked about that selfish word, right? Selfish is relative. Selfish is relative. Okay? You can be selfish solely only for yourself. You can also be this word. Selfish definition. It's an adjective to describe of a person, action, or motive lacking consideration for others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. Break it down. If you are truly concerned about your profit and pleasure, and you profit and you are pleased by the people you're around, then your selfishness is not just, it changes a little bit. So it's more of a hybrid. This word is all well and good, but there's a little bit of a hybrid to it, because when you're selfish, it's not just only you, right? It then bleeds over into you realizing that if someone else affects your profit, then when you are truly selfish, you would make sure that they are most profitable so they can continue your profit. You see what I'm saying? So selfish as a word is a little bit of a misnomer, if you will. Again, if you are truly selfish, you would go out and make sure other people are taken care of so that you would be. That's never mind. Never mind. So some folks will get it. Eventually they're going to get it. And when they do, there won't be no holding them back. There won't be no holding them back. But again, all this stuff happens, guys, because of things like in the slave codes. When you restrict one group of people, check this out. Let's see. Let me see if I can. So you got the prohibitions on gathering. Slave codes generally prevented large groups of enslaved people from gathering away from their plantations. There you go. Bang. You set the precedent for one group of people. Now, listen. Oh, well, legally. See, it's another one of these words they use. Oh, well, legally. Listen, laws are made up and at one point are not there. Okay? When you hide behind the word legal, this is the Pandora's box we have opened again because of greed. This is why everybody should be fighting. When you talk about restoring groups of people, and even so to my black brothers and sisters, whether they give you one reparations check or not, go out and do for yourself. You will set the precedent. Has not been seen since the 1920s. Lord help somebody understand this. You show the power you've been given. And you be ready to defend yourself, because guess what? If they burned them down in the 20s, what you think is coming now? If they burned them down in the 1920s, what you think is coming next? Again, there ain't nothing new under the sun. That's not promoting violence. That's trying to promote peace. It's a warning. Let's stop doing this mess. Let's let each other live and prosper in peace. You ain't got to worry about nobody telling you what you need to do when you got your own league. And let's be honest here. The Negro Leagues were, it started off, it was rough. But once that train started rolling and folks started seeing the spirit of influence and that which is that connective tissue between all people. Y'all want to make fun of the Force and Star Wars all you want to. See, again, just because you don't accept the truth of a thing don't mean it's no less true. It don't mean it's no less true. Go on and do your thing, y'all. Stop being worried. Stop being worried with folks. Break away from the thing, man, because it's made an evil of the highest form when you hold back people. This is not. We ain't talking about control and not having chaos and stuff like that, y'all. The pie is supposed to be shared between folks, man. Yeah, you're going to have your highs and lows. Let's stop being worried about that, and let's start getting stuff put in place. Then worried about all the in-betweens on the back end. Anyway, to quote Lizzo, man. Anyway, let's get into some of these verses here and continue on. Acts chapter 3, right? Times of refreshing. We're just going to go all the way down. Peter and John, they were praying. All kinds of things were going on here. Okay, this is just ministry running. That's all what this is. They go to talk about how let's see. All right, Solomon's porch. Some people were talking. Peter doing Peter, but see, that's why they crucified him upside down. See, you pay a price. You pay a price for telling the truth. You also pay a price for living in the lie, by the way. So this is the name of the game. Take it up with the designer, not me. When Peter saw it, doing some healing, a man here couldn't walk, started walking. Started talking to the men of Israel. This is in Acts 3:12, right? And then goes down to saying that those men of Israel killed the Prince of Life, whom God hath raised from the dead, where you are witnesses of. When folks keep talking about something that those of the Jewish culture are doing improperly, that's not anti-Semitic, y'all. And you hide behind this thing because money is involved. Money is involved. That's all. Again, greed. We're not worried about right and wrong and immorality. When people sit there and they hide behind that immorality talk, man, they don't. Again, we're using holy notions to rob from folks. Y'all ain't worried about what is against right and wrong, because that's what that word. I'm gonna get into it here a little in a couple of episodes, talking about sex, because it's time to put this stuff away, guys. Again, sexual responsibility, not sexual repression. Two different things, and oppression. Because that's where you get sexism from. If people were freer with sex, you would have no fight between men and women, because you all would understand one was pulled from the other. You needed the other one to pull from the other. How about that? Men aren't successful without men. We're gonna go into it here in a minute. Men aren't successful without women, and women. See, again, people need people. So once you find that out, you don't need this, I'm better than you, I'm the head of the household, this is the only way it's going to work. Okay. You look at life from the time somebody started thinking like that till now, and look at all of the heartache, look at all of it. I'm not talking about just what happens wrong in life. We have been in the lab in the lab, just a word on the block. You sitting there creating your own demise, y'all. You're a team. Nobody owns nobody. You're a team. The quicker we learn that, the easier this is going to look like. Because now I'm not holding back a woman because she the weaker vessel. No, young women, old women, middle-aged women, y'all run your race. Men, old, young, middle, run your race. Do your thing. Live your life free of the garbage they shackle you down with. That's another verse in the Bible. See, folks, okay, getting your money in the collection plate, so they're gonna say all this stuff to make you scared. No, the Bible there to set you free. Let's just find this thing about this times of refreshing and keep it moving. Verse 19, repent ye therefore be converted, that your sins may be blotted out when the times of refreshing shall come from the presence of the Lord. There is, let's go down. He shall send Jesus Christ, which before was preached unto or to you, whom the heaven must receive until the times of restitution of all things, which God hath spoken by the mouth of all his holy prophets since the world began. Another thing that Jews took part in that was unnecessary, of which makes up multiple cultures, because there were multiple folks in the land who were Jewish back then. See, again, when the Bible tells you all have sinned, guys, God's not making distinctions between who's doing the sinning. We all have. Okay? So when you hear, hey, these agents with these artists who may be Jewish aren't doing the right thing, guess what? Maybe that's something to be looked into and not to be said as, oh, you're too hard to work with. Y'all need to go look at, and this goes to my black brothers and sisters. What is we doing? Y'all in places of power. Have y'all looked at that Monique interview with Shannon Sharp on his video podcast, Club Shay Shay? If you haven't, y'all need to go pay. See this, I'm telling you, we talked about it before. The strikes, these things that are coming up now, guys, every once in a while, the truth just bubble up to the surface, it's held down, and it just, why? Because life is lived in balance. You ain't gonna hold it down. These are forces beyond what you think. One might run on for a little bit, and then it's the opposite way. You might have times of peace, and all of a sudden, here come the mess. And then the necessary things to bring it back into balance. That's all. Times are refreshing, guys. When you get to the weekend, we did all that to get back to the weekend. We're gonna tie these thoughts together. Stay with me, y'all. Stay with me, y'all. We do this thing so that we can have peace. You are working, guys, so that you can rest, right? There is a balance. Matter of fact, we'll do this and then we'll get into the back end here, because that'll be a good, this will be a good closing point, and then we'll go on from there. We're going to play this video today. Y'all need to hear this video today because it is necessary. It is necessary. So anyway, Genesis chapter 2, the heavens and earth were finished. The host of them, we're going to kind of paraphrase this. 7 days God worked and then rested. Okay, back to this idea. So I posted this online because it's a real thing, so now I get a chance to explain it. There is a difference between you working hard and hard work. It's all right to work hard. It's all right to put in hard. It's all right to do the thing. What we're saying here is you got to work. Okay, but you do not do it to your detriment. There's a difference. And they got folks out here believing that you just got to keep working hard, got to keep working hard, got to keep working. But then again, when you got a story in the Bible where a man had to work for his wife unnecessarily because the family was playing games with the person for whatever reasons, okay, just that fact alone, right, that you would take something where someone needs something, again, because people need each other. And here you go, No, these are all the list of things you need to do. See, again, the Bible talks about that the workman is worth their wage. A person is worth what they do, right? And even more so, because again, God blesses abundantly. When you start breaking that, this is where these problems come. So 7 days, then you rest. Now, it doesn't have to be 7, okay? But we're talking about, again, times of refreshing, times of restitution, times of renewal. There's a time for things under heaven. You do a thing, and then you stop. You do a thing, and then you stop. It's the same thing with working out. Why do you have all these injuries and stuff of other things that will occur? Because people go too hard. You have to be okay with understanding. The dude in the gym clanging and banging on the other side, that's all well and good, bro. Guess what I'm not going to do? Right? We all get into a certain goal. And guess what? The time you keep putting in, all that you keep doing, watching what you eat, doing your exercises and staying to it. And then guess what? Now you the one on the Instagram taking the pictures. But when you get your mind right, that's where the rest of it's easy. It's the same thing with working. You ain't got to work yourself in the ground. And it's all right to take breaks and stuff like that. This is what all Labor Day was about. You know, this is what Labor Day is about. See, again, they do that. Oh, it's the last party of the summer. They don't realize that's the party of the summer. Forget the 4th of July. Forget all that mess, man. Power to the workers. The bosses aren't bosses without the workers. Because who you ruling over? Anyway. It goes on to talk about that the plants of the field, God made them. There was no man to make them, and that the planet was on autopilot before men was put there. Okay, you got verse 5 talks about how every plant was there. There was no person, no man there. There went up a mist. God made a mist to go up. God literally put the thing on autopilot for it to water the ground. If it's watering the ground and there's plants, y'all, that means the stuff is growing. That means things are doing its thing. Okay. Right? It's on autopilot without us being there. You take that thought for what you want. Then God makes humans, puts them, and then God sets them in all the places where it's set and what trees are there. And again, we talked about that multiple trees are there. Right in verse 9 is telling you every tree was there, pleasant to the sight, good for food. The thing is here for us to enjoy. There's a lot of different things we can do down here to enjoy. Again, because you think it's wrong, don't make it wrong. It means it's wrong for you. Okay? If you're not cool on the inside with it, you shouldn't be doing it. That don't mean it's wrong to do. I hope y'all can see the difference in that. Go down a little bit further. God put the man in the Garden of Eden to dress and keep it. Again, do not think more highly of yourself than you ought to think. You're there just to dress and keep it. You're there to help keep the thing that's already on autopilot keep moving. So stop getting mad when you hear tree huggers, what y'all call tree huggers. Again, can a person go too far in the thought process? Of course. But the thought process is still the same. We are here to maintain a thing that was already put down here for us to do. See, again, we got away from a spiritual base, so we don't understand these things. We've forgotten these things. Hopefully this episode will help wake up some folks. Stay woke, y'all. Okay? Stay woke, man. You get into the whole knowledge of the tree of good and evil and all that kind of thing. That's okay. Here we go. We're going to set it up now. Verse 18, the Lord God said it's not good that man should be alone. Again, I understand we're talking about this male-female thing and this fight for who's first. You had that same fight for who's first. There's another story in the Bible between Jacob and Esau, and who's fighting out the womb to be first. Literally said that way, y'all. Again, we share the thing. You share a thing. We share our experiences. Relationships deal, this is the note that I put down, relationships deal solely in the idea of sharing life's experiences with each other and what we learn about those experiences along the way. This is not, I don't know. Okay, slept. So now Adam sleeps, took one of his ribs. Surgery, first surgery you seeing. I guess you only want to put Frankenstein here at the beginning here by God making man, okay, and breathing the breath of life into him and all that. He's alive. I mean, this is what this is. We just talking, y'all. Okay, and then yeah, not good that the man should be alone. Humans, it's not good for humans to be alone. It's coming from the creator, y'all. You look at people who stay totally alone. This is not against introverts and all that kind of thing. And then again, the opposite thought is true. Not good to be fully introverted, not fully good to be extroverted. You gotta have a little bit of the middle. And this is where they get crazy with integration. Yes, because people should come together, but when people start treating people like trash, you got to separate y'all. And maybe the integration's got to be looked at differently under a whole different set of circumstances. That's just that we just, again, different view. You take it for what you want it to be. I will make a helpmeet for him. I'll make a helpmeet for him. Breaking down some of the words. See, again, you need help. Excuse me. You need help, y'all. You need help. People need help. And I think the inability of people to grasp that has really hurt them. It's really hurt them. Can't walk this whole road alone. You can't do it. You can try, go for it. Something is improper, something's out of balance, because you can't do it alone. This is coming from the creator here. Somebody gonna come along in your life to help you. For you. And see, again, this idea, there's multiples. They're talking about relationships now. Yeah, there's multiples, y'all. There ain't just one. God didn't make this thing just one. There's multiple people down here that are meet or suitable, compatible with you. So when you strike out on that one, don't think that's the only one. Now there's a dynamic here because, again, somebody who's suitable for you, sometimes that takes work. Sometimes you have the beginnings of it, and then the rest of it comes out over time. Everything don't hop out right on the jump, right? Some of that stuff comes out over time. However, makes the helpmeet for him, and then God put him to work. Naming stuff and, all of the things, right? Out of the ground, the same ground that the human come from, the animal come from. So before you get on your high horse to how horrible you treat animals, realize you come out the same ground with animals. Same ground with plants, by the way. Anyway. See, again, don't think more highly of yourself than you ought to think here. Now you start to respect the balance between humans and animals. We ain't talking about bestiality here, okay? The fowl of the air. From the ground, God made the birds. Anyway, Adam, this planet is really powerful, y'all. But anyway, Adam, see what he called him, named him, and you go off from there. Same thing you do with your dog. It's the same thing. What's that one look like? Fifi. Okay, yeah, we'll go with that. Then you got your surgery. You got another one here. God puts Adam to sleep, takes his rib. So a man's rib makes a woman from a man's rib. Matter of fact, it re-says it again in the 22nd verse. And the rib which the Lord took from man made woman. Y'all got to pump the brakes on that transgender thing. Whatever, y'all. Whatever. Whew. See, again, there is a difference between the ism that is put on something and a person. Okay? God is making women from men. What would that tell you about the reverse? Never mind, right? Because again, we always, no, this is the design of the creator. You made in the fashion of. Never mind. Again, there's a difference between ism. Those isms when they put like ageism, sexism, racism. There's a lot of them. Humans are putting classifications on things that God is not. However, God has given us responsibility with the abilities we've been given. So again, before you do there was a movie back in the day where, kids is doing science and all that kind of thing. Weird Science was the name of the movie. Before you have your, and the shock on the face when stuff happens, before you have that weird, another way they say it in the hood is the ghost face, from the movie Scream, that shock face. Like before you have that kind of face when you see somebody who is transgender, just ponder some things for a minute. That's all we're saying, y'all. Ponder some things, and guess what? They got a right to walk. They got a right to walk down the street the same way you do, because you read some things in the Bible that was given to a king as a gift. So there's got to be a little level of discernment here. Responsibility is necessary with everything that is going on. Again, you want to talk to me about certain things and allowing people to come to certain decisions at a certain age. We get that. Okay. It's a whole other conversation than a person doing a thing. Yeah, I really don't know how else to say it. So God took from man, made woman, brought her back to the man. Then Adam said, "This is now bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken from man." Okay. Therefore. Again, for this reason, because now all of this coming together, which we're talking about being able to take care of stuff, have land, all of the thought so far, then you hit that's why they put therefore like that, y'all. So you got to take the totality of a thought. What is the whole purpose? It's to bring more growth to the growth already there. Because you're dressing and keeping something. This is how anyway. Because of this reason, a man will leave the parents and cleave to that help. Replace the word wife with everything that's been going on there, y'all. Your helper, the person meet for you, suitable for you. So before you sit there and talk about, I'm not head of the house, you ain't head of nothing without somebody there to help you. I can't, man. I can't. People, y'all just wrote, you got the stop sign in the road and you went right on past it. Then you wonder why you have the problems that you have in your home. Because you're still stuck on trying to be the leader of a thing and not leading nobody. And you can't lead nobody until you recognize them as you needing them. You need them. That's not coming from anybody but the Creator. So when Christians get on their high horse, realize God is telling you it's not good for anybody to be alone, man or woman, and that you need help. We need help, y'all. This is the relate part of relationships. You gotta relate. You gotta understand. You gotta have a restoration. You gotta have a rapport with. You got to have a bringing back to this fact that you need somebody. Don't need anybody, but you need somebody. So for that reason, you cleave unto that person. They will be becoming one. This is where we're going to stop. This is where we're going to stop, and I said we were going to do that video. We're just going to start it on the next one. Don't worry, guys. We got a whole lot to talk about. We got lots to talk about. Notice that help don't tell you black help, white help, Latin help, Asian help. Native help. It don't say what kind of help you need. You need help. So I will end with this because normally I am apt to forget certain things here. Because of the different isms that have been put in the world, people are making relationship decisions. That's a problem. That is a problem. Don't ask me. Now, I did not say there's nothing wrong, God. What I'm about to say is a blockbuster, but please listen. Please receive and just understand the thing for a second. Because you make the decision to marry inside your own culture does not mean that's the only way you can get married, y'all. But because of the world that has been made around you, they have so affected the power of love in between people that the only way to survive is to, with less issues, I should say, is to marry inside the same culture. That does not mean that's the way it's supposed to be, which is why you see intercultural, aka interracial marriage, as it's said. Okay? But we're going to stop right there. Again, we're going to pick up next time here in this video that further drives home that point, and we're going to continue on in our series. This is series part 4 about relationships. So, thank y'all for walking on this journey with me. Thank you very much. It is the support of the fan. It is the support of people that gets this thing going. So, thank you. And as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.